We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we bring you information that has to do with the United States of Biafra. Information coming from the right source. In this platform, we promote and support the restoration fully and recognition of the United States of Biafra under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nandekano. Today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, the Deputy Prime Minister. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I welcome you. Please like and share to all platforms. In this program, we will be continue to show you information that are coming from all angles, more especially things that has to do with the Biafran territory, regardless where it is, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south. We bring it before you so that you can digest it and have a rethink and know where you stand. The only thing that can guarantee our freedom in that contraption called Nigeria is Biafra. It is either Biafra or nothing. And wherever you are, continue to support the United States of Biafra. That is the only way to go. That is the only way you can have good economy and have security. Regardless what you see today, do not get distracted. Do not get bemoved. Continue to stand your ground, to demand for self-determination because it is your right. Do not allow anyone to take away the right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life from you. Kindly watch this video for more wisdom. Let's watch.
Mr. Ezeluche, how are you? Barrister, can you hear me? Barrister Ezeluche, can you hear me? Hello, sir. All right, I'll try to contact Barrister Ezeluche once again. In the meantime, the first question I want to ask Barrister Ezeluche is concerning the recent ambassadorial appointment. Now, we know that ambassadors are meant to be representative. Hello, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. First of all, Barrister Ezeluche, ambassadors are meant to be representatives of countries wherever it is they are sent to. We have career ambassadors and non-career ambassadors. But there are some names amongst the recent nominees who are meant to be screened that are quite worrisome. And it's quite unfortunate because it actually gives validity to the speculation that this administration thrives on bigotry. For example, Reno Omokri has been one who has been expelling divisive ethno-religious statements on his social media handle. In fact, on the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Reno Omokri deliberately twisted a narrative that what transpired, what caused the civil war, he made it seem like it was caused by a particular ethnic group. This man, all the time via his X handle, spills contents that puts a certain ethnic group in bad light, aside from his political situation with the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023. Is this the kind of person that is not about unity, that once said this nation? Is this the kind of person that this administration would consider credible to be a representative in any part of the world of Nigeria, with the kind of divisive ethno-religious statements he has made on his platform?
Now, let us have one thing clear. The ambassador represents the government of the day of the country, and ordinarily should represent the people. But in Nigeria's case, ambassadors are always represented the government. When you look at the kind of leadership, of the kind of ruler we have in Nigeria, Bola Tinubu with the kind of pedigree he has, one is not really surprised that the same man will appoint characters like Reno Omokri and a lot of divisive elements as his ambassadors. So the duty of Nigerians, particularly of the Igbos, who will be in any country, and it's Reno Mokri character, made an ambassador, is to let the host nation know clearly, bring to fore the various anti-Igbo posts or comments the Reno Mokri has been making, so that Reno Mokri cannot be said to represent the Igbos in that country or in the country where it's posted. That is Reno Mokri. For the other characters, mostly failed politicians who are supposed to be undergoing trial for corruption in their various states where they mismanaged, Nigerians should also take on the gauntlet and let the host country know that these people are not representing the people of Nigeria, but rather the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and they should tell them the kind of government that this man is running in Nigeria. It's quite unfortunate that at every opportunity, Bola Ahmed Tinubu tries to export bigotry, tries to tell Nigerians that yes, he doesn't give a damn about the unity of the country. He tries to even align the country by this kind of argument he's making. It's really, really sad.
Barrister Eze Eluche, beyond the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, just 2 days ago, Reno Omokri also made another divisive tweet on X. Aside from Reno Omokri, we have Femi Fani-Kayode, former aviation minister, who has also been very divisive with his comments. However, lately, though, he has been on the quiet side. And I ask myself, and I'm also asking you, if we have an administration that says Nigeria is one, if we have an administration that the president represents all the more than 300 ethnic groups in this country, and they promote and allow certain individuals to make statements that could cause what happened in Rwanda, or even or even possibly have another reflection of what caused the civil war in 1965 thereabout, then how do we say we intend to progress and move forward? How do we say that the nation intends to grow in every aspect that makes Nigeria its unique personality as a nation?
Now, we should stop deceiving ourselves in this contraption called Nigeria. From the various political appointments he's making, from the appointments in the ministries of finance, in the financial sector, in every sector, even in the paramilitary agencies, Mr. Bola Tinubu has not deviated from being a champion of his ethnic group. He's not talking of national unity in any instance. So, we shouldn't be expecting gold from a copper mine. We shouldn't be expecting fish from a place where poultry is reared. So the reality is, those who think that something different will come from Bola Tinubu, is either they have been blind for the past over almost 2 years, and they have refused to see what this man has done to Nigeria. But what this ambassador designates should know is this. The foreign countries, most of these foreign countries already have a dossier on them. Know who they are. They know who they are representing. They have the track records of these people. So that is why Nigeria will continue to have a very soiled image. When you have the characters like Fani-Kayode, for goodness sake, this is division himself. It's somebody who is a two-faced, double-edged sword. What he says today is not what he says tomorrow. Who can he represent? I'm even surprised that maybe we don't have, maybe even if you check well, we have a list of other corrupt people, maybe drug dealers or whatever, who have been made ambassadors under this government. But I keep on saying, these are the ambassadors of Mr. Bola Tinubu, and they do not represent Nigeria. They do not represent me.
It's quite unfortunate that integrity is no longer something of substance. Barrister Eze Eluche, let's look at the ANEC chair. The presidency recently dismissed rumors that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a replacement. Now, we know that on November 2025, the tenure for Mahmoud Yakub will expire. There are also possibilities that another nomination is being thought of. Well, political juggernauts are actually putting in some names for consideration, nominees for consideration, especially names that would align with their own interests. And some Nigerians and critical, logical thinking persons are wondering, should it be about selecting or nominate an individual that actually aligns with their interests, or an individual that aligns with the interests of the people, where we would have a transparent election in 2027 or any other election that is conducted between now and possibly after 2027?
The reality, again, is that looking at 2023, the general elections, and the off-season elections that are taking place ever since, particularly in Edo State, anybody who expects this system to deliver a free and fair elections is simply a joker. Now, the issue is not even Mahmoud Yakubu or not Mahmoud Yakubu. Particularly in a system where even the judiciary appears to have been captured. The security agencies are already in the pockets of the executive. The National Assembly is also going into the pocket of the executive. So whether it changes Mahmoud Yakubu or not is not the issue. Nigerians should learn that they have to take up the gauntlet and decide when enough is enough. But as for anybody expecting the Bola Tinubu regime to deliver free and fair elections, either they don't understand what free and fair elections means or has been blind to what has been going on in the past almost 2 years in this country.
Barrister, that statement you made is quite implicating. Are you saying that the president is not somebody that considers free and fair election? Are you saying that one who fought for democracy in this country would be one particular weapon that would be anti-democratic? Are you saying he will stifle a process that entails the independent realism of any Nigerian when it comes to casting their franchise? Is that what you're describing the president as?
You cannot give what you don't have. Anybody who mistakes Mr. Bola Tinubu as a Democrat doesn't understand what democracy means. As governor of Lagos State, he was changing his deputy governors like somebody changed underwears. He had the most number of deputy governors in the tenure of decade of age of governors from 1999 to 2007. So mistaking them, he has been very smart. Bola Tinubu tells the world that the Democrat, he fought for democracy is all crap. The reality is what Nigerians are now witnessing. Now, this is not a democrat in fact, that democratic virtues are stifled. Any attempt at protest, the police begin to issue warnings: do not protest, do not rally. I mean, is that a sign of a Democrat? So for goodness sake, you cannot give what you don't have. A beneficiary of a corrupt electoral process cannot be called a Democrat, because you cannot rig your way and say you are a Democrat. Democracy will have allowed the will of the people to manifest via the electoral process, and not a situation whereby the result, the IRF, the BVAS, and everything is modeled up and announcements are made, and the INEC chairman tells you to go to court and he's still there as INEC chairman. So for goodness sake, calling Mr. Bola Tinubu a Democrat is a misnomer.
Barrister Eze-Eluche, this particular rumor was so specific. For example, the replacement's name, a Professor Bashiru Olamileko. How precise that a replacement name actually went viral? Are we saying, and the presidency coming out to quickly denounce it, that the speculation is untrue? Are we saying there is no possibility of this particular name mentioned being nominated? Then secondly, in as much as no official candidate has been endorsed yet, all right, there are both external allies and key insiders from the presidential villa who are so involved and concerned in the selection process, which I actually asked you before, has raised concerns. Now, these individuals, regardless of whatever qualifications they have, the fact that they are being selected by certain individuals who are either very close to the president or they have some kind of influence on the president, that means the 2027 general elections is what? How do you define the elections in 2027 then?
The reality is, again, I keep on saying is this. I wouldn't be surprised even if Mr. Bola Tinubu announces his son as the INEC chairman with the system we have now in place. And I'm sure if he even does that, the National Assembly will approve, because they've approved virtually everything he's submitted to them. So with the name of a professor coming up or whatever, Nigerians have realized now that the professor being a professor has no relevance whatsoever with due and fair electoral process. We've had so many professors who have messed up themselves, who have rigged and stolen votes. So we're not scared by mentioning professor whatever, and then they tell us he has so many accolades, he has attained so many heights. The ones that attain higher heights have proved themselves to be criminals. I mean, in terms of rigging of elections. So the reality is this: Mr. Bola Tinubu can go ahead and do whatever announcements he has to make. As I said earlier, the National Assembly will approve. Nigerians should just be ready and prepared to ensure that next time, irrespective of what the INEC of appointed officials in INEC or whatever the military comes up with, we must ensure that our votes count and the person we voted steps in.
Did you say the military comes up with?
That if they don't allow, if they resist the rigging machinery of government, they will suffer. Some will die. But can you imagine how many people have died due to insecurity, due to the violence, due to even ill health, due to the lack of personnel in hospitals in the past 1.5 years? So Nigeria should stop even being afraid of the dead, because we're like the living dead. It's not the land of the living dead. So when we try to bring in people you didn't elect into office, tell them enough is enough.
All right, Barrister, before I let you go, 4 persons who were previously detained in connection with the fire incident at the Rivers State House of Assembly, they have claimed that they are being pressured to alter their original statements to implicate Edison Ehie, the chief of staff to the suspended governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara. Now, these individuals, I had mentioned their name while I was reading, Chime Ezebalike, Kenneth Pasa, Oladele Lukman, and McPherson Ulumini, were in November last year acquitted of the charges after about 6 months in Kuje Correctional Facility. So during a press briefing in Port Harcourt today, Ezebalike said they were recently contacted by a prominent PDP leader in Obiakpo local government area to revise their narrative. In fact, they actually had to consent to appear on camera during the press briefing. According to them, the request was linked to a wider political scheme allegedly aimed at corroborating claims made in a press briefing by former head of service George Nweke in Abuja. Now, they said the crime which they were framed and now want them to robe Edison includes the assembly fire, the gruesome murder of Bako Angbashim, a DPO in Ahwada area, and an alleged assassination attempt on the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Zamawale. They also went through the harrowing experience they experienced while they were in the Kuje Correctional Center. They said one of them came to visit them and told them to change their narrative. When they refused, they tortured them the more. Are we saying that the situation in Rivers, there is a concocted plan to ensure that everything about the administration of Fubara is decapitated, and they need to look for any legal means to implicate him and neutralize him as the governor of the state, with this confession made by these individuals?
Well, these are just confessions made by individuals, like you rightly said, and the other things are speculative, and one cannot really exactly say which of them is true, which is not true. So I think all it requires.
Do you think that in light with how things are, they would come out and make these statements for persons who should be afraid of their lives, persons who have been detained for 6 months? I mean, you would expect that if they come out, they should be confirming or asserting what the former head of the former George Nweke made the last time when he came out to implicate Fubara with the fire incident at the Rivers State House of Assembly and malfeasance, financial malfeasance with 15 billion naira. So are you saying that it's speculative? They should even be more afraid than coming out to actually say what they're saying?
It's actually speculative, and then it requires for more detailed investigation so that we are truly ascertained. It happens in Rivers State is far beyond the legal issues. Legality and criminality have been so intermingled and intermixed, and it requires a lot of deciphering to understand exactly what's going on in Rivers State. I will not be able to comment on much speculations and hearsay.
It was not a speculation. They actually said what they said on the press. It was a press interview.
Those are their own comments. Those are their own comments. You wouldn't know what the other side have to say because so many pros and cons are going on.
So you're saying that there is no possibility of these persons being harassed and being induced in whatever way for them to change the narrative to implicate the governor and those who were supposedly his allies, before his suspension, so that there'll be a legal ground for whatever plan they have after his 6 months suspension expires?
No, what I'm saying is that whatever they said should be subjected to investigation, and then so that the justice can come out from this matter.
Do you consider that the investigation process will be objective with the different issues currently going on in Rivers?
Now, that's another ballgame. And when they come to that point, then the issues will be addressed. But because if it's not objective, it will be very, very clear. And it has to be if they will be tried, the trial has to be in open court. They should not be tried in a secret environment. It should be open. And usually when a trial is going on in open court and there's a lot of funny things happening, it becomes very, very clear. That's why I said, let the investigations continue and the truth will eventually come out.
Barrister Eze Eluche, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to give us your insight on some of the stories read out on the World News at 6. We sincerely do appreciate your intellectual input on the news.
Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Barrister Eze Eluche. All right, and just before we go, let's take a look at the scene outside Nigeria. A federal appeal court in Washington today reinstated members of the Merit Systems Protection Board and National Labor Relations Board who had been fired by President Donald Trump, escalating fights over Congress's ability to protect federal officials from removal. The 7-4 order from the full U.S. Court of Appeal for the District of Columbia Circuit that again reinstated Kathy Harris to the MSPP and Gwen Wilcox at the NLRB comes amid a whirlwind of litigation about Trump's power over the executive branch of government destined for the Supreme Court. Trump, you do know, fired Harris and Wilcox soon after taking office, and both filed lawsuits arguing that their firings violated a 1935 Supreme Court decision known as Humphrey's Executor versus United States, which protected members of multi-member boards from firing. In issuing the unsigned order reinstating the members, the majority cited the decision. Earlier this year, amid firing of numerous officials with removal protections, the Trump administration notified Congress it intends to ask the Supreme Court to overturn the 1935 precedent. And now to wrap up, here again are the top stories. You heard that Tinubu's government backs nationwide protests as minister expresses desire to join the rally. Police beat up fire tear gas at protesters in Port Harcourt.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what you think about the video I just played, go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go to the comment section and I bet you I am learning a lot from there, and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move airborne.